ESPN's Major League Baseball Division Series, presented by Budweiser. Brought to you by Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. Eating good in the neighborhood. Applebee's. Singular, raising the bar. And Hampton Hotels. Visit us online at hamptoninn.com or call 1-800-HAMPTON.
José Contreras pitching to start this sixth inning. The one guy that's been on a couple times against him, Trot Nixon, offers at the first pitch, and they've retired Trot for the first time this afternoon. So we've already had this afternoon the Cardinals beating the Padres 8-5. We have the White Sox leading here 8-2 in the sixth. Tonight our friends at Fox, the Yankees and the Angels game one out west at 8 Eastern. And tomorrow here on ESPN we've got them all. The Astros and Braves. And how about that opener? Astros Braves at 4 o'clock Eastern, followed by our game here at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Boomer Wells going against Mark Burley, and then we'll have the Angels and the Yankees at night for the second game. So 4, 7, and 10 Eastern mañana here on ESPN.
We got a night game tomorrow.
Yes, we do. It's a 6 o'clock, a semi, and it's going to be about the last 6 hours of summer weather here. Front coming through right around. It's going to be dicey, but oh, what? Bad weather? You think David Wells cares about that?
If it gets cold, Rick's going to take me shopping.
Thought I was going to have to do that today. You couldn't get your luggage.
Varitek pops to second. There are 2 outs.
Boomer, this is impressive right now. Contreras out there. He is just pounding that two-seam fastball in the strike zone. I mean, guys popping up, grounding out on that first pitch. You talked about his numbers. He's won his last 8 starts, a ERA of 2. How about in his last 3 starts that he has won? He has pitched 25 innings. I mean, that's a horse.
Yeah, look at his disposition on the mound. I mean, still aggressive. It's easy sometimes when you get a big lead to not to continue to concentrate.
That's just what Ozzie told him when he went out to the mound. You know, forget about the base runner. Focus on the hitter.
He's driving every pitch right through the strike zone here.
Millar down the line. Fair ball. Creedy up. Konerko with the scoop. 3 up, 3 down for Contreras again.
Applebee's new Italian style is here.
Hey, Mambo! Mambo Italiano, you must go. Cause something tasty's going on. Oh, Applebee's will thrill you with some food right off the grill.
With so much Italian flavor, Applebee's Italian style will make your taste buds dance.
Hey, Mambo! Mambo Italiano, don't be slow. Cause soon it will be gone. New Italian dishes that are Applebee's delicious.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
I promise.
I promise.
Chevy promises to keep building most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
I promise to deliver 9 models that start under 20 grand.
I promise fuel economy is just as important to Chevy as it is to you.
Chevy, the #1 selling cars, trucks, and SUVs in America.
I promise that we've lowered prices,
added features,
or redesigned 19 models.
I promise to remind you why you got your license in the first place.
That's a Chevy total value promise.
Your SUV is designed to go off-road, but sometimes the off-road comes to you. Introducing the new Goodyear Forterra with silent armor technology, made with SUV drivers in mind. A layer made with Kevlar means the Forterra is tough and rugged, and extra cushioning means the Forterra rides quietly and comfortably. The new Goodyear Forterra with silent armor technology. Go confidently on the wings of Goodyear.
I escaped. rated M for mature.
Carl Ravitch, Peter Gammons in the baseball studios. If you're just getting home from work in the East, Reggie Sanders did a lot of work today for the Cardinals. Had a 2-run signal in the 3rd, a grand slam in the 5th. And the Cardinals open up and beat the Padres 8-5. Peter, tonight, what can we expect from Mussina and Colon?
Well, we really have no idea. The Yankees hammered Colon during the season, and Mussina, we don't know what he's going to fit. 14 2/3 innings in 2 months.
Baseball tonight, folks, midnight on ESPN as part of the trifecta. But, Boomer, you know that already.
We know that, and Ravi, we know that you and Pedro could be there talking baseball in your sleep. And by the end of this week, probably will be. You're still pretty good at it. We look forward to that. As Aaron Rowand, A.J. Pierzynski, Joe Crede up here for the Chicago White Sox. Matt Clement gone in the 4th, and Bradford dispatched. This is Geremi Gonzalez now working here to begin inning number 6.
A lot of changes made this year by the White Sox. As again, to begin with, Aaron Rowand. Mike hitting that 3rd spot for a long time. You saw Carl Everett in that. Jermaine Dye in there now. And yet, when we walked around the clubhouse, you didn't feel like anybody was upset. I mean, he has a reason for a lot of the things that he does, and it's remarkable the respect that this guy has already gotten in just his 2nd year.
By the way, I don't think he cares if anybody's upset talking to him.
He never
really
has.
Don't, right?
He you know what? And he didn't as a player either. Just respect. I don't care if you like me or not.
Yeah.
You're going to respect me because there's going to be a reason for everything that I do.
And that reason is the team, not the individual.
Yeah.
Hitters now, Chicago, you do not want to get into any bad habits. You want to continue to concentrate, not to expand the strike zone. Because tomorrow night you may be up with 2-2 game in the bottom of the 8th inning. So last thing you want to do is get into a lull or in a concentration lapse.
Pretty remarkable that they hit a 200 home runs again this year, the 6th straight year they've done that. Boomer, when you think about the guys that they lost, Carlos Lee, Maglio Ordonez, there's some power right there. Valentin, he was a power guy for him. And, of course, the guy we saw throw out the first pitch was injured most of this year, that being Frank Thomas.
Mm-hmm. 200 homers again in the Yankees 6 years in a row. They'll do it.
I think also, too, Rick, what you were saying, I mean, you plug in different guys and you're looking for that right combination, and different personalities come in, and obviously you're going through the numbers as a general manager, as a staff, but sometimes a team that looks good on paper just doesn't play well together.
Aaron Rowand gets a base on balls. Here's our pitching summary brought to you by Yellow Book. Summary for Contreras. Outstanding. The last inning, by the way. 1, 2, 3 in 6 pitches. Matt Clement gave up long balls, gave up 8 runs. He was gone inside of 4 innings. And don't have to explain much more than this. One pitcher had it, one did not. 8-2.
And it's pretty much been one pitch that Contreras has thrown that has gotten him to that point. That 2-seam fastball with a lot of movement, no walks, really hasn't even cared about the strikeout.
Now, this is a hit by pitch, the 3rd White Sox that's been hit, and so Pierzynski has homered, has doubled, and now aboard again with a hit by pitch.
I don't think there's anything to this. I mean, he's having a big day offensively. Well, once again, Jason Varitek, he might as well not even put the glove up. They've not come close to hitting his target all day.
Yeah, I don't think there's any message to this pitch. I mean, basically, they're just trying to get him off the plate a little bit. He's feeling a little comfortable, move his feet. You want to get him out of that rhythm. I mean, he's so locked in right now.
So now 2 on for Joe Crede. I think it's hard to look at 162 games, and you don't look back at it till their season's over. But when Cleveland came in here a week and a half ago, hotter than anything, they took 2 of 3 from the White Sox. But the game the White Sox won on a homer on a walk-off home run by Crede, same game that Uribe made a huge play in the hole. That game, I mean, at the time, Cleveland was still coming. They took 2 or 3, but it just might have stored enough acorns for the winter, if you follow me, and headed off the Indians. It didn't look like it at the time, but you look back, Crede may have had the biggest swing. Uribe had the play at the glove.
And as we said earlier, I mean, those are certain things that when you're going through a tough stretch and the team is struggling and it's kind of like you're always looking to someone else. What can you do? What can you do? I mean, because it is nerves start to get a little prominent there, and you need someone to take the pressure off with a big hit, big play, to allow the team to relax and get into that flow again, which got them to that point.
I think it's been so easy too, Mike, for this White Sox team to relax all year because they've pitched so well. That starting rotation, they were 6 deep this year with young Brandon McCarthy. This kid's, I mean, 22 years of age, not even on their roster right now.
Not this week.
Not this week.
In the future if they go on.
If they go on, exactly. Might even start a game in the league championship series if they get there.
Well, they had Burley, who was, and Garland were automatic. And now we've seen Contreras, the second half is automatic. You know, Mike, better than both you guys know what that's like. No long losing streaks. Right?
It is.
It's got to be fun, Mike, as a catcher, to put the glove up and know that, you know, the ball's going to be in that area.
Absolutely. And as a ball club, knowing, okay, we're winning tonight.
Creedy reaches out for this one. Going back is Graffinino on the grass. Makes the play. Both runners back to the bases.
They just didn't pitch well during that 3-week period where they started to fade a little bit. Kind of funny, you know, the starting pitch, they admitted it. John Garland with a career high in wins this year. You know, with Burley, he's, you know, nobody's thrown more innings than he has, but they hit that little spell like everybody does during the course of the year, but to their credit, they picked it back up.
Juan Uribe homered his last time up. Shortstop from the Dominican Republic.
Millar kind of got his feet tangled a little bit there, Mike. He looked like he wanted to block the bag from Pierzynski being able to get to it. The throw was there, but he kind of tumbled in front of it, leaving the back corner open.
Now, Kevin's had some interesting flops this year. He's one of our favorites. I mean, he's always ebullient. And now they try for the other base.
This is like a spring training game, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you are going to work on some as a catcher, you know, with the lead like is that Chicago has.
That's just the old daylight play. You can see Graffinino throw his hand up. No sign other than the one the second baseman put on.
Oh, you're right. Get your timing down. You may need it.
How about getting your breaking ball down?
That helps too. That helps.
Well, what a job this kid has done the last couple of years. All he heard about Uribe was what he couldn't do in Colorado. Came over here. We've mentioned it with other players, but it's so true, Mike. He's comfortable here. I mean, Joey Cora has helped him. I mean, having Ozzie Guillen as your manager, being a young shortstop, that can't hurt anything.
Gonzalez up the top.
Well, and then as well, there's a certain amount of chemistry, for lack of a better word, in a lineup. And some guys are more scientific, take pitch type of hitters, and some guys are cut and slash guys, and you want those guys on with guys on base. Because you know the pitcher, the pressure's on him. He's got to throw strikes. He's going to be around the strike zone, and these guys are going to make contact.
Try it again at second.
Like you said, Mike, that pressure thing. When you hit a guy ninth offensively, there is no pressure.
Yeah.
You know, you're a free swinger. Go up there, you know, try to get the ball down, try to swing at a strike. But, man, you'll take 16 homers and 71 RBIs out of your ninth guy.
That's pure gravy. Icing.
You're always thinking of food, aren't you? Icing,
I don't know.
gravy.
Lamb.
Yeah.
You got me. You got me.
All Uribe's thinking about right now is swinging the bat, man. This is, you hit a home run, your last at bat, you get that momentum going right now. And I think it's so important, like what Mike said, Boomer, for them not to change their approach right now. Still go up there, still put pressure on Boston.
Yeah.
Ripped in the hole, base hit. Rowand's going to be waved home by Joey Cora. Ramirez's throw, not in time. 9-2 Chicago.
You watch Uribe here hitting a couple of balls. Ball close to him. Down across the strike zone. Smoked in the hole.
Odds again, too, before you're talking about what a great year his third base coach, Joey Cora, has had. Keeping this young team aggressive, knowing who the base runner was there, Rowand with great speed. He was going to test the arm of Manny Ramirez. Even with all of the outfield assists for Manny this year, he scored easily.
And you just love a former third base coach giving props to his third base coach. There's a brethren there, every position, right?
That's a position on the field. A lot of pressure on your third base coach.
Yep. Tell him in Boston. There's more. I mean, and I'm sure there's everywhere. Here in Chicago, poor Wendell Wendell was also in Boston. Whoever the third base coach, they've been on Dale Swaim. They've been on Wendell Kim. Renee Latchman always was good. You can never do the right thing if you're the third base coach. Oh, this might be right. Way back. Long ball again by Chicago. The Podsednik adventure has set sail. Oh, boy. Pitching, defense, and 3-run homers, and we have ourselves officially a blowout. Oh, man.
Boomer, you mentioned another home run for Chicago, but the first home run of the year for Scott Podsednik.
And down and in to a left-handed hitter is no man's land. He just dropped the head of the bat. To run like that and then go deep, it's not fair, Rick.
Gucci pops out. Not fair. Wow.
How about that?
First homer of the year, and you do it in the postseason. And he was the guy that, of course, it ties an ALDS record. It hasn't been that long. 12 runs and 4 homers are White Sox postseason records. We told you they hadn't won a home postseason game since Game 1 of the World Series in 1959. What was there? Ortiz at the beginning? Check. I mean, it's only one win, but that'll get that off the boards. It's been a long time ago when Early Wynn beat the Dodgers in that World Series. Their last win of any sort in the postseason, Ozzie was the shortstop. It was in '93 when they lost to Toronto 4-2. Came on the road, of course.
You know, Mike, there's great stories in the game. You were drafted in the 400th round or whatever it was to get to the big leagues. Amazing. How about Scott Podsednik? 9 years at the minor league level. Told that he couldn't hit. Told he'd never play in the big leagues. But one of my favorite words is persevere. And I mean, what a great case of him being able to do that and then to have that moment with this big crowd.
And he was, of course, voted in as the extra player in the All-Star game this year. Besting Derek Jeter, a fan favorite, and that's the kind of guy you want in there. Dye grounds out to end the inning, but long ball again, Chicago. Another 4 spot. If only the Bears could score like this. 12-2 White Sox.
Okay, thank you.
Of America.
The largest network of ATMs and banks in the country. Only from Bank of America. Higher standards.
Want the best in wireless? Look no further than your neighborhood Radio Shack. From the best name brand phones to the best wireless carriers, we've got it all. And now, during our Best of the Best wireless sale, get the best for even less. Like this new Verizon Wireless VX5200 camera phone by LG, just $29.99 with new 2-year agreement. You'll also enjoy the best customer service. That's why our sales associates are #1 in wireless customer satisfaction. And why we sell more wireless than any other consumer electronics retailer at Radio Shack.
If you love the convenience of shopping online, but you want to get a hold of your stuff ASAP, Circuit City makes it simple. Just buy online at CircuitCity.com and choose the in-store pickup option. We're the only place that guarantees your purchase will be ready for pickup in 24 minutes or less. If it's not, we'll give you a $24 gift card. It's that simple. Circuit City.
So the Dodgers are down to their last out. Game 1 of the World Series. And look who's coming up. Kirk Gibson with 2 bad legs. You talk about a roll of the dice. This is it. High fly ball into right field. She is gone.
With 100% whole grain, low fat, and fiber, the breakfast of champions brings out the champion in you.
The impossible has happened.
Log on to MLB.com to follow baseball live on the web with MLB.com's real-time stats, game day audio, and MLB.tv. MLB.com, where baseball is always on.
It is officially party on in Chicago. Summer-like temperatures. The White Sox haven't won a home playoff game since the late 50s. They're up 12-2 on the defending champion Red Sox. But I will say this, as Bill Miller steps in against José Contreras and pops this up, Podsednik, Pierzynski sheds that's just out of play. Boston with not back completely to wall, but backed up in a little trouble. I think we've seen them respond before. As lately as this weekend. As lately as Thursday, that win they had against Toronto. As lately as this weekend against the Yankees Sunday. We don't have to go back to last year. Everybody knows that situation. They wouldn't, when they swept the Cardinals last year in the World Series, it was so un-Boston. I mean, if you're going to accomplish something, you got to do it with adjective.
Drama.
Right?
Drama.
So there, you heard what Terry said. I mean, if the White Sox are going to score, they're saying, well, they might as well let them score them all now. Of course, there's no assurance that it'll stop. But
to me, though, Boomer, the big difference in Boston this year as opposed to last year, I just look at the divisional series a year ago. Kurt Schilling, a 21-game winner. Pedro, and then Derek Lowe came up big for him in that sweep. Their starting pitching is not near as good or as healthy as it was last year.
Correct. How about the hero's welcome to Podsednik, who they love here in Chicago? Out of left field.
Well, they know how important he has been to this ball club. They know what he has done on the base paths. We know about the stolen bases. But, Mike, right along with that, you catching all those years would get a good look at. This is a great defensive outfield.
Absolutely.
Raffanino grounds out Uribe.
They cover a lot of turf out there.
9 straight outs by Contreras to add on to the 12 runs that they've piled on. It's been a party for them.
Well, I love what he's doing here now, though. I mean, he's making it fun for them offensively, Mike, because he's out there, he's throwing strikes, they're catching the ball, and the next thing you know, they're hitting again.
Exactly. Get us back in the dugout. Get us back hitting. Throw strikes.
As a catcher, you just keep firing that one down there?
Whatever's working, exactly. Oh, when you get a team hot offensively and they're swinging the bats like Chicago is today, you want to just keep them hitting. But I was saying, too, what you were saying, Rick, about Podsednik. I mean, somewhere along the line, I think he probably he asked for advice. He listened to someone. I mean, there's always people in your career that make an impact on you. And I'm curious to know is if someone got him and said, hey, look, you got to get on base. By walk or by hit.
Contreras just mowing them down. 1, 2, 3 for the 3rd straight inning. Damon gone. 7th inning stretch time here in happy Chicago.
Own a timeshare, turn it into cash.
Timeshares only got us our full asking price before our next monthly payment was due.
Own a campground membership, turn it into cash.
Timeshares only sold our campground membership fast and for the price we wanted.
Call now and we'll send you absolutely free this information kit, including 10 secrets to buying, selling, and renting timeshares. Timeshares Only is the nation's largest, #1 most successful timeshare agency.
We represent properties from the biggest names in the timeshare industry.
When it comes to selling, renting, or buying timeshares, no one comes close to Timeshares Only.
With over $2 billion of timeshares sold in the last 6 months, now's the perfect time to sell, rent, or buy. And no one sells more timeshares than we do.
You owe it to yourself to work with the best. Timeshares Only, the most trusted name in timeshares.
Call 1-800-576-0389 to sell, rent, or buy your timeshare and get your free information kit. Don't delay. Call 1-800-576-0389.
Hitting the cutoff man could be the difference between winning and losing the game.
Boys and Girls Clubs is the official charity of Major League Baseball.
Like this. Bingo. We're going to need a few more cutoff, man.
Together, they create a positive place for kids.
Good teamwork. That'll work. Good cutoff.
Get front row seats to concerts with live streaming video from Verizon Broadband, the world's most advanced network. Even when the show's sold out, you're in.
ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball's Division Series presented by Budweiser. It's a 12-pack for the White Sox as they lead the Red Sox 12-2 here at the bottom of the seventh. Aaron Andrews down below. Aaron?
Thanks, Boomer. Well, Paul Konerko, one of the guys who went yard today for the Chicago White Sox. Ozzie Guillen telling me when he first came to this team, there were so many negative things that he heard about Paul Konerko. But then he showed up, he got to know him. He said he came in and day out, and he proved himself to be the complete opposite. He's known as the sole guy in this locker room, Mr. White Sox, if you will. He's one of the guys that have been here the longest. Boomer?
Well, and he's certainly celebrating today, Aaron. He almost homered in the first. He homered in his next at-bat in the third inning. He's made a couple of nice scoops over there at first. And in a 12-2 game, there you go. He nubbed it out. But here it was in the third inning. Off of Matt Clement. And breaking ball broke over the left field stands.
I tell you, Boomer, I thought a great moment on Sunday was everyone in that White Sox clubhouse before the final game of the year, all they cared about was him picking up one more RBI to get to 100. It was a great moment. There was a runner on third. Jermaine Dye was up. Nobody. And Mike, Jermaine Dye did not want to swing the bat. I mean, he just did not want to swing it. He wanted to make an out. He wanted to walk or whatever. He set up the opportunity. Konerko got the hit. They bowed to each other. It was just to me, it was a great team moment.
And that builds that winning attitude. It builds that just that we attitude. That we attitude that we're all pulling on the same side of the road.
Ozzie telling all of us before the game too, Boomer. He said, you know, what would you rather have? Two guys that hit 50 homers. I think he was kind of talking about Manny and Ortiz. Or would you rather have 5 guys that hit 20? Which is what he has. He says with the 5 guys hitting 20, you have more opportunities to score. And you know what? That's what they've done today.
And you'd like to believe that everybody's not going to go cold at once, unless you run into an extremely hot pitcher. And that's when you have the speed of Podsednik to try to balance it out.
A lot of answers. Well, for Boston, last time they gave up a double digit as Carl Everett pops it. Graffinino there. Last time they gave up a double digit effort on the scoreboard in the postseason was game 3 to the Yankees. 19 runs to win the next 8 games. But they're down 12-2 today. Fans, join Major League Baseball in our efforts to rebuild the Gulf Coast. Support Habitat for Humanity by calling 1-800-HABITAT, logging on to MLB.com or Habitat.org. And certainly both Katrina and Rita. You don't even know where to begin. The pictures don't do it justice. We know it's been time since, but that aid is going to be needed for a long, long time. Someone that certainly felt very close to it. You know, Kevin Millar is from Beaumont, Texas. That's where Rita hit the second one. His family up with him was okay, but lots of folks down there not as fortunate. So our best wishes to everyone down, and that rebuilding and restructuring of lives is going to go on for a long time. You don't even if you can't rush in now to help, that help can come 6, 8, 10 months from now. It'll be just as much needed. Keep them on your mind.
There's a lot of great people doing a lot of good things.
Well, one thing we know, Boomer, you mentioned it earlier in the game, this series is far from over. This is one game, and regardless of what happens tomorrow night, when it gets back to Boston, it'll be every bit as loud as it is right now, and it'll be a great series.
You shot off the mound, and Granfanino makes the play on Rowand. Hey, 1-2-3 inning by Red Sox pitching.
4 minutes. Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2.
The smooth taste that gets things started. The refreshing taste that keeps things going. Where will you find the great taste of Bud Light? Wherever good friends get together. And wherever good times are going on and on. Bud Light. Great taste for your great times.
Is it true you do more brakes than anyone?
Absolutely. Is something burning?
Oh, those are Fred's old brakes.
Come to the experts in brakes and maintenance. The Midas Touch Maintenance Package. An oil change, tire rotation, and multi-point courtesy check, including brake check for just $29.95.
Trust the Midas Touch.
Life doesn't stand still, and neither do we. That's why families trust Lowe's for installation. Not because we give you your very own project management teams to guide you and help you throughout the entire process, which we do, or because our installers are certified and fully insured, or because Lowe's guarantees you'll be satisfied with our installation service on everything we install. You see, at Lowe's, improving home improvement never ends.
Now get all over-the-range microwaves installed for just $59.
Goodyear knows you're not the only one who depends on your tires. That's why there's the new Goodyear Wrangler with Silent Armor technology. It's engineered with a layer made with Kevlar for toughness and a quieter ride. Get the truck tire you can count on. The new Goodyear Wrangler with Silent Armor technology, so you can be there on the wings of Goodyear.
Right now, you can get up to $500 off select John Deere riding lawn tractors, plus no interest and no payments until April 2006. But hurry into your nearest John Deere dealer because this window of opportunity will soon be closed.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. ESPN's Major League Baseball Division Series is presented by Budweiser. Bright, crisp, clean, pure, the king of beers. And in part by Midas, for mechanics known for their work and their word. Trust the Midas touch.
12-2, the White Sox lead the defending world champion Boston Red Sox here in the top of the 8th inning. José Contreras has been nothing short of brilliant. And you know his story. Highly bid on between the Red Sox and Yankees after the 2002 season when he defected on October 25th, 2002. Defected from Cuba, pitching for the Cuban national team during the America Series in Mexico. Then bidding war, then the Yankees. That he never quite, as you pointed out earlier, as he works Edgar Renteria, you know, from Cuba to New York, you talk about a culture change. It never quite showed what he did in 7 years as a pitcher for the Cuban national team when he was 117 and 50. Then came the trade on the last day before the trading deadline a year ago, July 31st, Ken Williams getting him from the Yankees for Esteban Loaiza, who had some success with New York a little, and they were hoping that the change of geography is makes a catch on Renteria. Man, they got it all working.
They've had that defense working all year, Boomer. We talked about it earlier, Mike, the speed in that outfield. What difference does it make if you hit a double or if you take a double away from the opposition? Jermaine Dye with the ability to do both.
It's a great jump on that ball. Look at the concentration. Looking at the glove, the ball into the glove. Especially 12-2, you can afford to be aggressive. You can afford to take chances, and it's just going to continue to give your team momentum.
You know, for a big guy, when healthy as he is this year, he's a pretty good outfielder. A lot of assists. He's a very good player.
Graceful for a big guy as well.
Now they got the big shift on Big Papi again. Kind of a excuse me base hit. off the shift to the left side of the infield, and now he goes to left side. Oh, but that one is not grabbed by Podsednik. And Big Pappy kind of got tangled up in blue and then gets in there to second.
He thought that Podsednik was going to catch it.
He made a right-hand turn to the dugout toward the coach's box and went, whoa, Nelly, the ball's rolling to the wall.
You can't give it an error. I mean, it's an obvious ball that could have been caught, but to me,
you just said it, right? Be aggressive now, right?
But he kind of got caught in between. I don't think he knew what. I think to begin with, he wanted to dive, and then he realized, wait, I don't have to dive, and then he just simply missed it.
It's all right. We got to say it. That was a Podsednik adventure. The Big Pappy was confused. He was listening to Maureen McGovern sing The Morning After. It's 12. Hey, it's 12-2. Open the garage.
You're gonna laugh a lot.
Open the garage and back out the cars, okay?
Man, I was like, where are you going? That's a knock.
Manny Ramirez. To finish the story on Contreras, which is well known, the trade comes at just July 31st in 04. It was okay, 5-4 last year with the White Sox. Gets up to a pretty good start this year. We've documented the way he has pitched. He has his buddy from Cuba, El Duque, along, which certainly helps. Right? They were together in New York as Manny Ramirez will foul this out of play. And today he's got his family in the crowd. He's got his wife Miriam with her. Nailene and Lennis are in the crowd as well. What an exciting day for them. And you talk about, we think we've had a bad day or tough months. Or they don't know when they're going to see him. He defect in Mexico.
And as you said, with El Duque's presence on the team as well, it's just got to, you both have the same story, the same struggle, the same sort of desire to come to the United States and play Major League Baseball. So it just makes the atmosphere just more comfortable, feel more at home.
And Mike, right along with that, to not even be able to communicate with your wife and kids, I can't imagine.
No, I can't.
The stress. Manny here, as we've seen, I mean, just
3 ground ball outs thus far.
He's been aggressive. He's tried to take a few pitches. He's in the hole here.
Talked about Contreras being comfortable. Manny is not.
Well, he came in red hot. Uribe with a rocket, and Manny is grounded out of the infield 4 times today. 2 down, Big Pappy over to third base. Sports Center coming up next. Dan Patrick. More from here in Chicago. The Cardinals had it 8-0. We saw La Russa make pitching changes late. What are you doing? It was 8-5. The go-ahead run came to the plate. Should you bench your fantasy team? Well, this is a fantasy for White Sox fan. And look at the standing ovation for José Contreras, family and all. He's pitched brilliantly, and he leaves with a 12-2 lead.
Your SUV is designed to go off-road, but sometimes the off-road comes to you. Introducing the new Goodyear Forterra with silent armor technology, made with SUV drivers in mind. A layer made with Kevlar means the Forterra is tough and rugged, and extra cushioning means the Forterra rides quietly and comfortably. The new Goodyear Forterra with silent armor technology. Go confidently on the wings of Goodyear.
So, any questions?
Doesn't having high-speed connection protect me from viruses?
No. A high-speed connection can actually leave you more vulnerable. Who's heard of the I love you virus? Right. But who's heard of the I just want to be friends virus? Or the I love you but I'm not in love with you virus? Well, that's because they haven't been invented yet. But we're already working on ways to stop them, just to help keep your computers safe and secure.
I love that.
We're working on that one, too.
Want a better internet? You belong at America Online.
Does a promise come with an expiration date? Is it good for a month, a year, or decades from now? At New York Life, we make promises that have no expiration date. Promises that are built on the timeless values of financial strength, integrity, and humanity. Promises that we live by. So no matter how the world changes around you,
Back here in the baseball studios, Karl Ravech to report things were bad for Jake Peavy and got worse. He's out for the season after fracturing his 8th and 9th ribs in Tuesday's Division Series opener. Again, out for the season and no word on exactly when it happened. Boomer.
Wow. Thank you, Ravi. That's been the shining light for the Padres. This man was a shining light and then some for the Chicago White Sox. José Contreras gone, and now a name that you may not know. You may not know a lot of these White Sox, but this young man, Neil Cox, the lefty out of the bullpen, has put together quite a resume this year. 4-0, ERA opponent batting average under 180. He's great against the first batter that he faces, which is, even though at 12-2, here's a 2-out runner at third, gets the first guy out almost all the time. That's a young man that grew up, in the Chicago area, Belleville, Illinois. A thrill for him to pitch here in the postseason.
Some kind of bullpen for Ozzie again. 2 left-handers, 3 right-handers. I mean, that's an easy 92 right there, Michael.
Easy cheese. I'm always thinking of food, right? You know what RBIs are called? Steaks.
Trot Nixon.
That's a can
to left.
Can of corn.
And this is a smorgasbord for the White Sox. 12-2.
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough. Fullness from a value menu.
Please. Thank you. I have an announcement. I'm full!
Taco Bell's Big Bell Value Menu, featuring the half-pound beef combo burrito with double the beef. To keep your stomach and your wallet full, think outside the bun.
It's the time of the season when love runs high. In this time,
moving your 401ks to Fidelity is groovy. Our retirement specialists make it so easy, they'll even do most of the paperwork. You dig? Call 1-800-FIDELITY. Smart move.
Now that Yellow Book is coast to coast, we thought about branching out. Yellow Book Cola looked very good. Fly Yellow Book Air. Fast food. Tasty. Wow, theme parks. The Yellow Book brand would be cool on lots of great stuff. The possibilities are endless. Coffee houses. Skateboards. Why not Yellow Book toothpaste? Maybe we should stick to what we do best. Great directories. Yellowbook.com and Yellow Book, not the other book. 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Impala. Available with a powerful 303 horsepower small block V8 that delivers a remarkable 28 miles per gallon highway. It's a whole new animal. Chevy Impala, an American revolution.
More ASC certified master technicians, the top mechanics in the country, use Valvoline more than any other oil in their own cars.
Kenny, come to bed.
ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball's Division Series presented by Budweiser. And the White Sox have presented their fans with what looks like their first home postseason win since 1959. Lead the Red Sox 12-2. And here's the hitting star. Well, there were many, but A.J. Pierzynski's 3-run homer in the first inning took it from 2-0 to 5-0. Lots of changes, Boston. Bronson Arroyo is now in the pitch. Now you say, well, gee, it's 12-2. Arroyo, a starter, now in the bullpen. Why would you do it? We'll talk about that in a minute. Simple answer. Alex Cora is the shortstop. The new third baseman is going to be Kevin Millar. Adam Heisdu is the center fielder. So you might as well get everybody in. They get them in, say they played in the postseason. They're on the roster. And Pierzynski down the line and right back, going again. for Pierzynski. He caught Contreras, and twice he's gone yard.
There's that ball drifting back to the inside part of the strike zone. AJ, a nice fluid swing right there. It really isn't laboring with those swings. I mean, just.
And they want the curtain call, and they got it from their catcher, A.J. Pierzynski. We misspoke. Youkilis not in at third. Bill Miller stays in, but Heisdu and Cora and Arroyo are in. A couple of notes. Isn't it interesting how it works this way? They haven't won a home playoff game since 1959. Do you know that that's the only other time a White Sox has hit 2 home runs in a postseason game? Ted Kluszewski in Game 1. They know him as a Red, but Kluszewski, Pierzynski. I think there's a theme there. Golupkis for everybody.
The Kabasa connection.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, Rick. I just.
How am I getting that?
So 13-2. Bronson Arroyo started Wednesday and didn't pitch well in a game Boston lost to Toronto. 7-2 pitched 1 inning in the big win over the Yankees Sunday. Terry Francona telling us, look, he can go every day. He can go all 5 games. And I'm kind of surprised. In some ways he's pitching, but maybe, hey, stay loose. Pierzynski's loose, we know that.
Well, I mean, don't forget, too, about Boston. I mean, a lot of intense games down the stretch. That last big series with the Yankees. I mean, that's what Terry's doing here. I mean, put the guys in, put the B team in right now. Give some rest to these guys. You know what? We'll try it again tomorrow.
Sun will come up tomorrow. Sleep in. It's a 6 o'clock local game. And as we said, Yankees got 19 in Game 3 of the ALCS. Yeah. Boston won 8 postseason games after that.
Absolutely. Don't forget, this is a team that came back down 3-0 to the New York Yankees.
And they came back twice against Mariano Rivera.
So they have something left in the tank. I mean, no, they're not going to roll over and die.
We know that.
The only thing is, in a short series, you have a little bit more of a sense of urgency. You can't be in down 2-0 in a short series is different than a 7.
Although they've done
series.
that against Oakland a couple of years ago, losing 2 out west, coming back, winning 2 at home. Trot Nixon homer, 1 it late. They went back out. Derek Lowe, remember, ended up finishing it at Oakland, so they've come down from 0-2 even. They've seen it all in Boston. There's white knuckles abound in New England, that's for sure. And there's Nixon with the homer. Millar, he's certainly no stranger to. There's a guy that in the clutch, so it's 12-13-2. Well, what do you need a big home run? There's a strikeout there. Uribe is gone. Our Chevy player of the game. I know Pierzynski has 2 home runs, but José Contreras, who has not lost since August 15th, in recognition of his outstanding play, today's Chevrolet player of the game, José Contreras. Chevrolet makes a $1,000 contribution to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Another thing accomplished by the White Sox this afternoon, Manny Ramirez had a 17-game postseason hitting streak. Unless he comes up again, which doesn't look like he will, that goes by the boards.
And that includes all 14 postseason games a year ago for Manny in Boston.
Came in red hot. I mean, he was red hot the last 2 weeks.
Well, that's why I agree with Contreras being the player of the game. Pierzynski with a big night, but you could take all of Pierzynski's numbers away, and the job that Contreras did still would have won the ballgame.
And you shut down a hitter like Manny. I mean, the pitches that he was making, and Manny did not want to run deep counts. I mean, he was aggressive early. He was like, hey, I'm going to try and ambush him, as we say, hit him early, not getting deep counts, because he knew that the type of stuff that he had.
And a guy like Johnny Damon, along with shutting down Manny, Johnny Damon's not gotten the ball out of the infield yet today.
Foul ball. You know what? There's an interesting story here out there at shortstop now is Alex Cora for the Red Sox. So he's there, younger brother of third base coach Joey Albacora. Mom Iris, I'm sure, watching, go, hey, who do I pick in this? Well, and he said, and Alex was with Cleveland earlier, said, well, he always seems we're battling the White Sox. My older brother there.
Now, what do you do there? Well, you had the blood and the mud earlier. You go with the oldest, youngest?
Man, you got me on that one. Threw me a curve.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're going to have to go some to top a brothers
Yeah.
Say, I was at a hockey game when Keith Primo of the Whalers fought Wayne Primo of the Sabres, and they both called their mother immediately after the game to apologize.
You know, another situation, the first one in the history of baseball, home plate umpire John Hirschbeck, his brother Mark. They were the first brother combination to be umpires in the big leagues at the same time.
Connecticut boys.
Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, God, yes. We have lots of umpires in Connecticut. Iasonia, who's working today. Hirschbeck behind the plate. Bill Miller at first. Mark Wegner at second. Mark Carlson at third. Mike Everett at left. Dan Iasonia, Connecticut. We got 2 Connecticut umps here.
Tell you what, you got to give
Taylor was it. Steve Palermo. I mean, and Rapuano. We got a lot of umps.
Palermo?
Yeah. Yes. I know he's Kansas City, but lived in Meriden, Connecticut for a long time. Take credit for him. Because he's our buddy. Now the adventure continues with the Red Sox. Podsednik walks. And now who's left on the bench presented by ING for Boston? Will they get in? John Olerud's going to start tomorrow against Mark Burley. And Kevin Youkilis just back. Had the ring finger is bandaged up. So I figure why play maybe, I don't know, until they absolutely need to. Doug Mirabelli will catch Wakefield in game 3. And Machado hasn't gotten in yet. But
talking to Youkilis Boomer on Friday night, it still bothers him to throw a little bit, but he said absolutely no problem swinging the bat.
Here off the bench is Willie Harris, a speedster, infielder, batting for Aguchi. Timo Perez, your old teammate, Mike.
Timolito. I think he reached base. How many straight times in the 2000
He was great.
playoffs? Yeah.
But what do you want to do next year? I hate to come out of left field with it. But speaking of the Mets,
wow.
You know what? We'll give you a batter to talk about it. I mean, what a great send-off, first of all.
That was
Sunday
amazing.
by the Mets fans.
It was amazing. I really was overwhelmed, and the fan support was just incredible.
You expect that? I mean, you knew there was Fan Appreciation Day, but it turned out to be Mike Piazza Appreciation Day for the 8 years you put in.
Well, and it was a little awkward because, again, with the uncertainty of the game and player movement, and I don't know what direction the team's going to go in, and we haven't really begun to discuss the future. But no matter what happens,
I'll tell you what's going to happen. How about it?
There you go.
2 touchdowns and 2 extra points here for the Bears. 14-2 Chicago. But back to your situation.
Yeah, but no matter what happens, I mean, it was just an amazing day, and I'll always be, in a great place with the Mets, no matter what happens. And I'm in a little bit in a quandary because I don't want to put pressure on them. I do want to come back in some ways, but I know in some ways it may not be the best for me or for the team. So, we'll talk about it. I'll just play it by ear, but in the meantime, just enjoy the moment for what it is.
Boomer, you and I, we know what it was like in New York before he got there. Wow.
Gave that team a big-time identity. You know that. You don't need us to tell you.
It was all because of the fans. I mean, they got the best out of me as far as they made me better and made me concentrate. I know it was a lot of pressure to play there, but it was something I'll never, ever regret or trade in.
Mike, big crowds like that, it's so tough to motivate yourself all the time that it has to help you, particularly with, the grueling position that you played.
Yeah, and, again, like New York, Boston, and even Chicago to some extent. I mean, that's when you have that media pressure, you have that fan pressure, it can do one of two things. It can make you better or it can and make you worse. So
scare you.
It is a tough town. These are 3 tough towns.
Coming on, Adam Heisdu in center field. And Perez is gone, and now Jeff Blum. How about Thursday? Who is that?
Cookie. I got a cookie there, and fortunately didn't miss it. That was a few kicks left. What can I say? I mean, people taking pictures. It just gained a life of its own. I was like very, and it is just a little bit uncomfortable because I still feel like I have a few things I want to do as a player. And, your friend, our friend Eric Karros told me, he said, if you're not 1,000% sure, that you want to turn the page, and you should give it another shot. And that's what I think I'm going to do.
Well, You certainly would do well. It's not like you're not going to hit homers and play well. And Jeff Blum pops it up. We're back with Mike and Rick and Aaron and the White Sox party. It has been a cotton candy time.
Live from Studio C in Industry City, Davis.
Our first guest needs a little introduction, so ladies and gentlemen, please welcome George Hamilton. How are you, sir? Please have a seat. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. You know, I got to tell you, that TV in the green room is spectacular.
That is no TV, George. That is the award-winning Dell 42-inch HD plasma TV. And we noticed you noticing. Freddie, show the green room cam footage.
The green room cam?
Oh, yeah, we're sneaky devils here.
Look at you. Those features. That true-to-life color. You're stunning.
Yeah, the Dell plasma TV. An amazing picture at an amazing price.
Oh, the TV. TV's great, too. It's spectacular.
Spectacular, George. It's a Dell!
Davis, right now save $500 on a Dell 42-inch HD plasma TV. Plus, get free shipping. Get the most out of your home entertainment with a Dell Media Center PC starting at only $699. It's entertainment made easy with Dell and Microsoft.
Tiger Woods is looking for his 4th American Express championship. But standing in his way are Phil Mickelson and Vijay Singh. The American Express Championship. Live coverage begins Thursday at 1:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Nicorette Fresh Mint is different. It's the first and only stop-smoking gum coated with a cool burst of mint flavor. In fact, consumers prefer the taste 2-to-1 over any stop-smoking gum. It tastes great and fights cravings fast. Nicorette Fresh Mint. Start chewing, start quitting.
Class of '94. Here I come.
When you want to make a good impression, Enterprise Rent-A-Car will pick you up free and get you going in style.
Looking good, Moose.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Coming up on SportsCenter, back to U.S. Cellular Field for more fallout following Game 1 of the Red Sox-White Sox series. Why the Angels have the edge over the Yankees, and should you drop your underperforming fantasy players? SportsCenter, right after the game.
It's time now for your chance to win one of 100 Philips HD TVs with DirecTV service for a year. Log on to 100yardblitz.com to enter. The code word is MVP.
Top of the 9th here in Chicago on a summer day, and it was a day at the beach for the White Sox. 14-2. Contreras brilliant. 2 homers Pierzynski. Home run Konerko. Home run Podsednik. Home run Uribe. I think you get the picture. Cliff Politte has come in, another one of that outstanding. Remember that outstanding White Sox bullpen, the veteran Politte. Yeah, 181. Everybody comes in with the batting average under 200. Politte is there. Willie Harris is at second. Jeff Blum is at first. Timo Perez is in right.
When you look at the numbers, Boomer, for the bullpens, you can see why the White Sox were so good in one-run ball game. Even on the road, you bring in guys, they're going to get 3 outs, and you get an opportunity to win.
Jason Varitek hits it up high, but that's Timo Perez over there, and there'll be 1 down. Look, there's 24 hours till the next game. It's going to start right now, tomorrow at 6 Central, 7 Eastern on ESPN. We'll be here to see David Wells and Mark Burley. Momentum as good as tomorrow's starter. Either Boston, 14-2. What do? Do you say it doesn't happen?
Yeah, I think you just, throw this game right out. Say, hey, we ran into a hot pitcher, we ran into a hot, deep offense, and we have to obviously bounce back.
All right, now you're Chicago, who is now into the season by winning 5, and now this would be 6.
Well, given the record of Red Sox at home, I think that they feel like that they'd love to go in there up 2-0.
I totally agree with that. I think, again, as today was, Boomer, I think it's a must-win for Chicago tomorrow. You let Boston win this game, that momentum gets going. They get back home. They get their crowd. It might not get back to Chicago.
John Olerud batting for Millar, and Olerud give him a hack before tomorrow's game, right? Another former teammate of yours.
Sweet swinging Johnny O.
But he's just always talking. He never shuts up.
Yeah, right.
Talk about a guy who could take pitches. This guy.
He makes it look so easy, too. Everything he does.
He hit like 381 year with Toronto.
363 won the batting title. Yep.
Then they wanted him to hit for more power, remember? Oh,
man.
How about what he did to your overall team defense when he got to the middle? Well, he's done it everywhere he's ever been.
Without a doubt, one of the best defensive infields I've ever played with. I mean, you're talking about Johnny Oliver, Ray Ordonez, Edgardo Alfonso, and Robin Ventura. You take it for granted. There weren't a lot of errors on that infield.
Hit 354 or something for the Mets one year, didn't he? Hits this one pretty well. Back it goes, back at the wall. And it bounds away from Rowand, who hits the wall hard, and we got to check him. Oh, man, in a 14-2 game, he knows only one way to play it. You just hope he's not hurt on that. But then again, isn't that the White Sox? Yeah. It's 14-2, but darn it, I'm going to go get it.
He was at full stride, too, when he went out. When he hit that wall. Did not break stride. Little, ooh.
He almost hurt Louis Aparicio out there.
Ooh. Little face action there, unfortunately, but
he's in there.
As you said, Chris, I mean,
it's all they know.
Yeah. I mean, you can't, at this time, you can't expect him to pull up. I mean, it's just the way he's going to go after the ball.
Bill Miller in. Miller 0 for 3.
Politte there, I faced him with the Phillies, and as we were talking earlier, I mean, he's always had great stuff. Comes across his body a little bit, a little sinker, a little slurve, a little slider.
Got to be hard on a right-hander.
It is. It's just you got the any heavy ball. I mean, it's like trying to hit pool balls.
Miller pops it. Willie Harris now in at second base, and Boston's down to their last out. Boy, it has been complete here at Chicago. David Wells will have a chance to change things around, and so will Big Papi and Manny Ramirez and the Red Sox thumpers. But the White Sox, if they don't look like a team that had a 15-game lead that they whittled away to game and a half, at least on one outing.
They look awful confident. They feel awful good, and you got to be confident when you got Contreras on the mound. Boom, that 9 straight starts that he has won pitching for this team.
Tony Graffinito, the one-time White Sox, and he sends it in the air to left. Back it goes, back to the wall. And isn't that fitting? The home run snatched by Podsednik. Mike Piazza enjoyed it.
Chris.
Rick Sutcliffe, great job.
Always good.
Aaron Andrews, thank you. The Chicago White Sox. 2 touchdowns over the Red Sox, win it 14-2. We will see you tomorrow, right around this time at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Coming up next is Sports Center. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So for all of our Division Series crew here in Chicago, I'm Chris Berman.